Hey everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today in front of us is the LEGO Ideas Friends Central Perk set. It is set number 21319. It has 1,070 parts, sells for £64.99, $59.99 US dollars, or €69.99 euro. So it's definitely a good part to price ratio set. There's a lot of extremely unique minifigures that come here, and this set was actually sent to us from the LEGO group to do a review. So thanks a lot, guys. This is a fun show. This show was massively popular in the 90s and early 2000s. I can remember watching this at home with my family for several years. I don't know if I actually stuck around for the season finale, but I just looked it up on Wikipedia. The season finale is like the 5th most watched TV episode of anything of all time. And the most watched episode, the season finale for this show, was the most watched episode of the decade of the 2000s for anything. So that just gives you an idea of how massively popular this show was. All the characters were very, very distinct, very likable, and it also did really well internationally. When I traveled abroad, a lot of people that ended up learning English ended up learning it by watching episodes of this show, which is pretty funny. This has got a ton of Easter eggs. There's just so many wonderful colors, lots of custom prints, or sorry, I should say exclusive brand new prints that came out for this set, and tons of stickers. And the idea is, I think the designers here really wanted to fit as many details into this space as possible. There's a lot of things I want to say about this, but first let's jump into the minifigures. First up here is Chandler. He's got an exclusive print for his torso and his face. His facial expression honestly doesn't seem that different or unique compared to some other faces out there, but technically that is exclusive just to this character, at least as of right now recording this. And then Joey is the same way. The piece here for his torso is a print that's special just for him, and the same goes for his expressions, but his expressions are frankly just much better. You switch it around, that's probably the best expression out of any of the characters, and it very much follows in line, in step with his actual character in the show. He's a little bit, I don't want to say dumb, but yeah, he is kind of the goofy, dumb guy in the show. And then moving down, we've got Monica. Monica is a little bit out there, a little bit wacky, and she has a facial expression, not exclusive technically, but a facial expression that very much follows just something that's a little bit more quizzical, a little bit more variable, I would say. Really excellent print for the torso, probably the best one, I would say, out of any of these figs. And her face is actually shared by Fleur Delacour, which is like the last personality that I feel like is really very similar to Phoebe. But anyways, we're moving on. This is Rachel. Rachel actually sells for a little bit more on the secondhand market. In BrickLink, she sells for like I don't know, just 50 cents more than the other characters. She's around $3 on BrickLink, but she's got actually the most exclusive pieces. You can see the print for her legs and torso match up. She is currently working at the Central Perk, so you can see she's got her tray and her teacup. Her facial expression is not exclusive. This is actually one of the more common faces that you can find on any of the characters. And right now her Karen hairpiece is only shared by a collectible minifigure from one of the series a couple years earlier than now. I think a veterinarian, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely a little bit more of a unique piece. And then here is Ross, who has actual facial distinctive features that look very similar to his character. So that's pretty cool. Also, of course, the torso is special just for him. The cheek print there actually captures the shape of this guy's face really well. Definitely the most recognizable character, I would say, out of the whole bunch. And then his sister Monica is up next. I'm going a little bit fast just because there's so many things I'd rather talk about within the actual set. I'm turning the lights down. Here is her alternate, also a pretty common facial expression, though the print for her is unique just to this character. She's got overalls. That's a pretty dated 90s look, I would say, out of any of the things that people are wearing. She looks like more in her decade, I think, than any of the other characters, minus Gunther. Gunther's not really the any main character, at least not one of the main friends for sure, but he is the proprietor of Central Perk, so he would be present for many of the scenes that you would see in this in the backdrop in the main build here. So here he is with the weird tie design, and his facial expression actually originally came from Luke Skywalker from 2016. It's been used several other times for other characters in the past, and there he is. And all right, now we are here looking at the entire set. I've set up the characters just around the main dining area, the main shot where they're always just hanging out, talking. What's a nice, interesting point about this set is that it's built as the actual set, the filming studio set. The shape of this, I think, is pretty darn close to the actual shape of the filming studio, and they added just a couple of lights and stands for the lights on the outside here, actual film studio lights. So if you wanted to, you could probably build some cameras and stuff if you really wanted to make this like a larger diorama, but it feels pretty solid, pretty self-contained, and I think it works very, very well because this is just an excellent display piece. The walls are nice and low, it's wide. You can see that instead of it being an open sort of square, this wall actually comes out at a much higher angle, and it really opens up visually the entire space. You feel like you can almost get inside this area, and I think that's really what makes this model work more than anything else, is the dimensions. At least that's the baseline. If they had the interior set up the way it did, but it was too closed off, it just wouldn't work that well. But you can really get inside quite easily with your hands, and visually you can get inside this space. Sorry about that. I think some planes flew over and it was a little bit loud. But let's just jump in, and I'll try to point out as many details as possible just quickly. I'm not going to be going through like Easter eggs, but we have what is a printed piece here. You can see the Central Perk menu. Wonderful, colorful little details through and through. But I think actually, let's move towards the back first, because this is maybe the best coffee espresso setup I think that LEGO has built for anybody ever in any set. There's so many wonderful things here. You can see a little lamp. I don't know what that is, but there's just so many nice pieces here. The operating area for Gunther and everybody else. I like the build that we have for the curtain that's pulled back behind the back door. Pretty wonderful. Sorry if I'm hitting the camera. I'm literally hitting the camera with the front of the set right here. We have some mugs attached to the wall. This is another printed piece. This is another printed. This is not exclusive to the set. The service sign print is, in fact. And then let me get it a little bit lower down, see if I can get some light in here. And then looking down in the corner here, you can see some candles, or a lamp that looks like lit candles with flowers, and another print that says live tonight with Phoebe Buffay. I think that's how you say her last name. It's been quite a long time since I actually watched the show, but we've got some umbrellas and a construction hat and some more flowers, and there's Phoebe singing on a couch. And there's an electric piano, which is also a printed piece for the keys, which is so wonderful. The reserved sign is also, nope, that's a sticker, but the print for the newspaper is not. And now that we've got a look at this thing from a bird's eye view, I really enjoy the shapes made, like the series of wedge pieces in sand green that make up the front counter. You can see a wonderful brick-built carpet in the back, which is something that from most display areas. You really just won't be able to see well, but I love that they added so much detail back there. I like this little through line with the 3 green pillars, 1, 2, 3, that come along towards the back. It follows this angle very, very well. And then you can also see that there is a brick-built carpet underneath the main characters here, or sorry, I should say rug or something like that. And with that, I should show you guys the next feature. So if you wanted to display this in a smaller area, I feel like Phoebe should come off the couch and sit her down there or something, but there we go. They can actually fit on this little small area too, which is nice. Okay, perhaps this makes a little bit more sense now contextually. They're all on this one little carpet here. It's not the most pretty color combination. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it is kind of a funny looking design for the piece here. This is the small coffee table, but just look, every little piece of this build is just put together in wonderful succession. The build for the chairs is nice, the coffee table, this orange couch is great. This is a wonderful series of pieces to get that line the nice smooth sort of cushiony seat that we have here. Everything is built to an incredible level of detail and accuracy. Now, once again, we are looking at the set as a whole. Let me just show you the backside real quick, because there are some, I mean, like right here is just a lot of extra detail that you don't really need. I wouldn't say, I don't think you really need to have all of this, but they do have it. You can see the inside of that print for Central Perk there. The doors do indeed open and close if that's what you like. I put Gunter's broom there. This is also, once again, just another Easter egg. And I like that they added this. This doesn't need to be here. And then when you look at the other corner, at a certain point with a diorama like this, or a vignette, whatever you'd like to call it, there are going to be areas that just look like the back of a build, and that's what you have when it comes to here. The door opens out the back, and then yeah, you can see some other, you know, not so wonderful details, but at the end of the day, this is really a display piece that is meant to be put up on a shelf and sort of appreciated from one, maybe two different primary angles. This one, of course, being the main angle, and it really does look good. I just like being able to pull this close to the camera, and it almost feels like you're actually inside this scene, this primary set scene. Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea set. It's a really good idea. I think it lined up pretty well with the anniversary of the premiere of this show, or maybe it was the finale date or something like that. So that's actually kind of cool. And let me show you guys the box real quick. And okay, here is the box that we've got. The Lego Ideas line always has generally better boxes. A lot of these sets are relatively collectible, and this one is no different. The artwork is pretty darn nice. It's very, very clean look, very colorful as well. On the back, it just kind of shows off just a couple of pictures. It's quite simple. There isn't too much clutter on here. You've got a little thing for the characters. This is what the other side looks like, and then also very quickly let me show you the manual if I can. So the first page really just kind of talks about the show, a little bit about each character individually, their personalities. This is the original fan designer, and then the next page shows the Lego designers that worked on this as well, both the graphic designer and the actual designer. This is just another language, and yes, so there is the manual. And let me show you the set one more time. I actually didn't show you guys, but the this area as well can pop up. So the other carpet piece in the back, the other rug piece in the back, can also pop up in a way. It's a little bit more difficult to get that one to pop out, but yes, that is the case. So anyways, final thoughts on this set. It's really good in terms of part to price, the types of pieces you get, the colors, the variable pieces, the minifigures and all of their exclusive prints. They're all very, very useful. I would say this is a set that wins out in almost every way, minus the fact that it's not a play set. I mean, I think a lot of people going into this particular looking at a set like this would realize that there aren't really any interactive functions outside of just being able to play around with your scenery and do different displays and poses, but there's no actual play functions. There you go, that didn't pop down all the way. And I gotta say, this set works extremely well for both custom builders as well as collectors. Part to price ratio is rock solid in terms of the types of pieces and the amount that you get. So yeah, there's no surprise to me that when this first was released, it sold out. Like, I think it sold out pretty quickly on pre-order, and then it was back ordered for quite a long time. This was not an easy set to get your hands on because I think the market had spoken. People liked this show well enough that hardcore fans really wanted it, and then anybody that's really into the collecting of Lego sets, I think realized pretty quickly that this is going to be one of those sets that will probably be worth a bit in the years to come once it retires. So yes, in terms of any way you look at it, aside from younger children being able to play with this, this isn't really a play set, but it works in just about every other respect. I think it was designed quite well, and I would love to know what you guys think about this. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to the LEGO Group for sending this set over to us to do a review, and if you enjoy our content, you can always like or subscribe. We'll see you next time at BrickVault.